Hi, everyone. It's Brenda Hammon again. I am the author of Hear Me, and we have with us today the lovely Jo Dibblee. She is an author of her own memoirs called Frock Off, and she is the founder and CEO, if I am not mistaken, of The Best Kept Secret to Success in Life, Love, and Business. Welcome, Jo.
Well, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited for you, Brenda. Anything that we can do to move this message forward and to change things is, I'm all in. I'm all in. And yeah, absolutely, between Frock Off and Best Kept Secret, certainly we're making changes, but all of you also who are stepping up and saying, hey, enough's enough. Let's talk. Let's not sweep things under the rug. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. Well, Jo, you and I met, and I was discussing it with Megan. I think it was in 2015 at the Edmonton Frock Off event, and I walked in there. Well, actually, I didn't walk in. I made you meet me first. Buys for pies, and said, before you want me at your event, you better know a little bit. And you had open arms, and I went to that event like a deer caught in headlights, I must say.
Yeah, quite a change from the girl that I met to who you are today. But, you know, understandably, because we've all been there at some point in some way or shape or form. But, you know, all the joking aside, it was good we met beforehand because it helped me to understand where you were coming from and to see where you're at now. I mean, there is no comparison, Brenda. There's no like, if someone was to tell me this would be the metamorphosis I would see with you, I wouldn't have believed them because it's too dramatic to go from there to where you're at right now without a whole ton of soul searching and a whole ton of commitment and dedication to being the change. So, yeah, you rock. It's good I met you, but I wouldn't believe it. Like I said, if someone had told me, I would have said, no way.
Well, you see, I don't have a picture behind me where I can hide behind. I took my pictures all off and put things up that, you know, you can't kind of hide behind anymore. So
yeah, that's actually, you know, that's a great point because I mean, if you could have crawled into that tree, you would have been in it, and it was a fake planter. But you, honestly, your personality is not one that should be tucked in behind a tree anyway. But then to have, you know, wow.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy. So why don't you tell everybody who may not know you a little bit about yourself and what Frock Off is and what your business is? I get to showcase you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, short version of the story is I was a witness in witness protection for 35 years for the RCMP in a key murder investigation. Unfortunately, it was a foster parent who had used the system to bring children into their home for his needs or, you know, use as youth. I was lucky to have lived and gotten away from him, but a little girl I knew was not a foster child, but he ended up murdering her. So when I went to the police, I told them what had happened. Much after it had happened, so there was no evidence, but the bottom line was they didn't believe me anyway. I was just another foster kid that came from a disenfranchised family, and he got smarter and decided to make sure his victims never spoke. There were children never found, but the one little girl that I stood for in the witness protection program for 35 years, I did know her, and she was only 12 when her life was taken. And so I wrote my story, as you know, Frock Off Living Undisguised, so that we could showcase and help other women understand that it doesn't really matter where we come from. It matters where we're going. Like I look at you today and I think of just a short time ago I met you in the transition. But imagine if that stuff, that horrible feeling we have or we feel bad never gets unleashed, then we don't get to do the good work we do in the world and in our lifetime. And for me, it was a matter of helping these women step forward, women entrepreneurs that are heart-centered, and creating environments where we could gather, like you came to, and we could unleash what we really intended to do. It's about doing our legacy work, really. That's what it boils down to. And Frock Off has grown tremendously, but not because of me, but because of the need for all of us to stand united and say, it's time to help and unite and stand shoulder to shoulder to be that change for other people as well. So it's a huge honor, and I'm as I said, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be part of your journey, because truthfully to me, your success has a part in mine, because I get to say that I was part of your story, and that's awesome, Brenda. You have no idea. That's a dream come true for me. So thank you again.
Well, thank you. And it was at that very first event that I decided to become one of your change agents. And you were donating your books to everybody who became a 12 for 12 member. And I thought, you know, if I'm ever going to get a change happening, I had to step up and do something too. So I donated some of my books with you at the same time, and it's become now almost like this tradition. You know, if I'm at your event, boy, there's books that are being sent out to all of these women who can't get there, who can't come and hear anybody speak, and those are the women that really, really need it. So yeah. This is going to be the next book that is going to be donated to the cause. So I am super excited about that and being able to share that some more. Megan, do you have anything to add? Suggestions, talks, questions?
Yeah, sure. Well, absolutely. Well, I mean, I have the honor of working with both of you ladies in some different ways. And I'm a co-producer at Joe's Best Kept Secret events. And I absolutely love, Joe touched on it already, like the transformation that we've seen in you from the very first event to now. And of course, you've spoken at some of her events now. And just your message is so powerful, but you're just getting better and better at sharing it, and more people are beginning to respond to it and understand why you can't be silent about such an important topic.
No, you can't. Silence is not, silence is deadly. And I mean, that sounds like an old cliche, but it is, because if you don't step up and you start making changes in your own house and in your own health, things are never going to get any better. And I read an article that it said that past trauma in childhood affect women in the menopausal phases of their life far greater. They get more illnesses. They get all kinds of things that are now being linked to childhood abuse. Oh, wow. And I thought that was insane, because I was one of those women. I was getting all of these weird things happening, and I'm like, what the heck is this all about? And I started doing cellular release, trying to get all of these bad memories out. Like, it was in my head, and I got rid of that, and I got it out of my body, but I had to get it out of my cells. And until I did that, I was always still getting weird things happening to me. And I must say that since I've kind of released that aspect, that has changed. So all of the women out there that are hanging on to their story and stuck in their story because they're afraid to step forward, think about what your future is going to be in health situations if you don't seek help, and if you don't get the help that you need. You don't have to write a book, and you don't have to stand on the rooftops and scream about it. That's what I'm going to do for you. But you have to take that first step, and you need to talk to somebody about it and get it out. And, you know, and hopefully when somebody reads the books, they realize that, you know, if she can do it, I'm just an ordinary woman. I'm not anybody famous or special, but I decided that I needed to take control of my life and take it back.
I couldn't agree more, Brenda, because the illnesses, so much of what happens to us when we've been traumatized younger, even a woman who is assaulted when she's older, if you don't deal with the trauma, it's going to present itself in some way, shape, or form. And often the illness is the only way the body can try and get our attention. It's like pain being an entity. I mean, pain is a warning sign. It is not to do anything more than just your body saying, hey, pay attention, pay attention. Yeah. So whether it's mental illness or it's other trauma, I just want to touch a bit on when you donated the books, what that meant to go back a bit. You know, for you to actually step up, especially from that very first event where you were just kind of seeing what we were doing, it has, you know, I mean, you went from the frying pan into the fire, back into the frying pan, back into the fire, and then you got enrolled immediately, and you are definitely one of our ambassadors of change. without a doubt. But you've taken it much further, and I'm sure you hear, as I do, from people when they read the book, how impactful this is. And it is for those women. And if you think about those women right now that are struggling, a story, you know, our whole history, our whole society is built on stories. It's built on that more than anything else. That's why social media works, if you know how to use it. It's because we're built on the premise of once upon a time and then this.
Yeah.
Ultimately, there isn't always a good outcome, but there can be a better outcome when we share our stories and we know that we're sharing them with purpose. And that is the difference between what you're doing and what I've done versus someone who has been equally traumatized. Like you said, it's not about being a famous person. It's about standing. And the more we stand, the better it gets. You know,
Yes.
So I thank you for that. I wanted to go back because you glossed over that. I need people to understand how impactful that's been, because I know that I get messages frequently from people saying, oh my gosh, I thought I was alone. I'm not alone anymore. And
Yeah.
I thought you had it all. Like they thought, you know, they look at someone and they think that person, don't judge a book by what it looks like on the outside. And I don't mean our actual books, because those actually do tell us. But you know, take a look inside and get this. We all have been where you are. It's just a different story. It's not a good, bad, or, you know, oh, my story's not as bad, or my story's only this, or my story's much worse than this. Who cares? It's just you're normal. You don't know any different. I didn't know any different. Brenda, I'm sure you didn't know any different. We just thought that was our lot in life. Well, it's not your lot in life. I'm here to tell you it's not. And I know, Brenda, you're doing that. You're doing the work that says it's not.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I refuse to let this be my lot in life. Like it was 40 years, and it was 40 years too long. And I wish that I would have done it sooner, but I didn't have the tools to do it sooner. So I get it when people, you know, don't do it before they are ready to do it. But yeah, you got to do it. You got to take that step, and you got to do it, and you got to make the change for yourself, because there's a whole life out there waiting for you, and you have no idea what it is, but it's a hell of a lot better than what you are or where you're at if you've been abused. And I always say to people, well, it hurts to go back. Well, you've already been in hell. All you're doing is just walking out of it.
Yeah.
Your memories can't hurt you anymore. You just need to deal with them and toss them in the trash where they belong.
I totally agree. And it's such a difference when you watch people, because I know you've written a few books now. And so when you see people when they first come into the world of, oh my gosh, I'm even just going to read this story. Like for some people, that is the very first step, and it's the most important step they'll take for them. Like you said, not everyone's going to be on the rooftops. It's not mandatory that. What's mandatory is that we get to own and live our own life. That's the only mandatory piece, whatever that looks like, right?
Yeah, whatever it looks like. Just journal it, burn it, however it is, you just got to take that first step and go. So yeah, I agree with all of that sort of stuff. So unless we have anything else we need to conclude or say or do.
Just congratulations. I'm so excited. I'm getting my copy right now. And, you know, when we're together again, next time you speak, then I hope you'll sign it for me. I hope you'll.
Oh yeah.
So, thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you for being part of and thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. This is just awesome. Megan, it's awesome to see you as usual. Co-producer to all of our events, rock star, makes it all happen behind the scenes. And Brenda, great things. At the rate you're writing, I think you better buy yourself a library.
Yeah, it seems to me I have a few projects on the go, that's for sure. Well, Joe, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there in the beginning and sticking with me through the ups and downs, because there have been a few. There was a big down, but I think that's part of the journey too, is realizing that it's not all sunshine and roses when you start writing a book. There is some tough stuff that you have to go through. So I thank you for being there with me. Megan, you are my tech girl. You're not the disembodied voice that you keep telling me you're going to be on these. So that's a good thing. And we look forward to the next time we get together. And everybody, there are still a few more interviews that are coming. So we will talk to you all soon. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.